Welcome to another episode of Cwt Tv. Get to know your hosts, Peter and Helen Yapel, as they are the New York State chapter coordinators of the Human Solution International, where we believe no one should go to jail for a plan. Peter and Helen are ministers, living the changes they wish to see in the world. Peter is a patient that learned the science behind the cannabis plant as he healed. Helen supported and cared for him by learning the medicinal values of foods, and now their allegiance is to the plant. Currently, they teach. They spread the knowledge that they've acquired through all social media, radio, and now through TV. So sit back and learn how to simplify and live a canna lifestyle.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Can We Talk?
As you can see, we have fun here every week. We try to entertain you and educate you on how to live a canna lifestyle. Pete and Helen Yapel, again, everybody. We're here today. We're going to have a special show just because we're going to
sit and chit chat, and we're going to catch up, and we're going to just reiterate who we are and what we do, and show our t-shirts. Look what we're wearing, Pete and I both. Mm-hmm. We have our logo. Pete, stand up, show the back. There you go.
All 130 pounds of that spread on you. Hope you guys can handle it. Yeah. But anyway, listen, tonight we've got a lot of stuff. We're going to re-intro the show a bit for you just because lately it's been really political, because it's been very important to be political at this point in time of the year, obviously. So what we're going to do is just reiterate about what the show is going to be about. We're going to introduce some of the players on our show this evening to you, so you can get to know who does a lot of the work behind the things that you guys really don't get to see every day. You might see their name scroll up there, but you really don't understand how hard these guys work. So why don't you let everybody know, Helen, truly what we're about? Like, really, what do you, when you think of us, if you were an outsider and you had to explain what we are, what would you say to them? Well,
we are first and foremost humanitarians. That's number one. We're cannabis activists. I hate to say that we just became cannabis activists in 5 years. No, we just became knowledgeable about the plant in the past 5 years. So we created Can We Talk 420, not 420, because we wanted to stay on the organic side. We didn't want to be cartoonish, or we didn't want to keep up with the stigma. We know what 420 means. It's a study that was done on college kids and a time that they came up with on when they smoked pot. It's a time. It's not a date like some people think. But it's not something that we wanted. That's not what we wanted our business based on the stigma of 420, marijuana, pot, herb. It's cannabis. We wanted to educate as organically and as real as possible, and along the way, we educated ourselves.
Right. So listen, like Helen says, 5 years of activism. No, 20 plus, 30 plus years, because we've always been proponents of cannabis, but not really truly understanding the medicinal value of cannabis, not understanding what the plant truly had to offer other than just sitting around and smoking a joint here and there.
Right.
So we've taken actually the company, as you're saying, as it's known as a company, we've taken our passions and we've involved them into a way to educate, to teach, to provide, and to help people understand a general way to
of
change
living
your health.
Yes,
right.
And a lifestyle change.
Because with health has to come life. You have to change your complete lifestyle, everyone.
Yes, well, because we've all been doing it for so wrong for so long.
Mm-hmm. If somebody said to you, cannabis is a miracle, what would you say to them?
It's a miracle we just found out about.
Well, I would say it's zero miracle. The cannabis plant does what it's supposed to do.
It's a miracle that we found out.
Yeah,
That's the miracle.
Well,
because
I
it was kept hidden for so long.
Right, but truly, it's not miraculous. So that this way, when people have to understand, just because you're going to treat with cannabis or cannabis, ingest cannabis in any way, shape, or form for any illness you have, do not think you're sticking this in your mouth and in 10 minutes you're running around dancing the jig and your life is all better.
No,
it's
God,
not like
no.
that. It's not a miracle.
God,
folks.
no.
That is a miracle. A miracle is when you stand up and you are crippled and you can't move and you can't walk, and all of a sudden you stick something in your mouth and then you can dance or play a piano that you never could. That's a miracle. Miracles are things that happen that shouldn't. Cannabis is supposed to be ingested by you.
Yes.
You are supposed to ingest cannabis. So what we've done, honestly, is we've taken my unfortunate circumstance and turned it into something beneficial for millions. And why I say millions is because I'm not the only sick human being in this world. I never claimed to be. And I don't think that my problems
Well,
are
I think that you have a lot of medical issues, but Pete has a lot of medical issues that a lot of people have. And they're unexplained, and they can't figure out, they can't quite put a name on it. Well, it's Lyme. Well, it's not Lyme. You have a false positive. Well, it's a strain we really can't name, and it's turned into autoimmune. Oh, it could be cancer.
All to go with a list to everything else.
Really, and it boils down to his body fights against itself. So yes, it is autoimmune, but all these things and the way that he's lived his life and the medications and the choices that he made medicinally to go with Western medicine and to follow the doctor's orders and to do what they said is what led him to this.
Well, let's talk about that just in general today. Today, I go to the doctors. I've been waiting for over a month, almost a month and a half, to get in to see a renal specialist because I ended up in the hospital back in August, the end of August. Mm-hmm. And I've been waiting all the way this time to see a specialist because I've been in writhing pain for a month and a half with my side, and obviously, they say I needed to see so-called specialist. Well, as I'm at the specialist today and filling out my paperwork, the receptionist kindly lets me know that I shouldn't even have had an appointment there. I should have seen a urologist. Mm-hmm. So here I've already paid $50. I've already given these people my money. I'm going to go in the back, and what's the doctor going to take my blood pressure and everything else and then say to me, well, you should be here to urologist. Well, do I go back out and get my $50 back is my point, because you haven't provided a service at this point in time. Well, I got lucky. He did have an idea of some of the things, and this is where doctors are good. People understand. I have a phobia. I don't go to doctors. They frighten me, as Helen told you. I used to take
it's become quite the PTSD for him.
It's very difficult. It's difficult for me. It's a challenge. It takes me to go there, and while I'm there, I'm a wreck. But because I just don't know what they're going to do. But after 131 pills a day being prescribed to you and you feeling death every moment around you, of course you're going to have some fear in going to these people. But they're good for this reason. I went there today, and because I suffer from these stones and we don't understand why I get them and why I experience pain in my kidney when the stone isn't in an area that should cause me pain and this, that, and the other thing. Well, I didn't know. When you have a resection of your colon, and I've had 18 inches of my colon removed, your body automatically produces these things that create the stone. You can create, you can acquire a syndrome of sorts, but these things.
So it's going to become chronic. You're just going to, because you pass stones all the time.
Right, but. What I liked about the doctor was he took one look at me, and he sees the hippie and the jewels and the pot leaves and the. Sorry, do you know? I touched my microphone, people. I blow my sound guy's ears out all the time. I apologize for that. But where was I? Oh.
Nice guy.
He is a nice guy, and listen. Without that, I would have never known that. So that's where the medical profession can help you. But what he said to me after looking at me all hippied out, pot leaf on, what medicines do you take? Well, I gave up 131 for one, and that when you look at my thing, what medications do you take? It just says cannabis. It doesn't say anything but cannabis. I don't explain how I take it, the forms I take it in, the many forms I take it in. It just says cannabis because that's how I treat. And he looked at me and he said, but the good thing you're going to like to hear about this all is every bit of this can probably be changed with something you're eating, not eating, or and implementing.
Which is exactly what we look for to do, and most ailments are. There's so many that are, and we choose so quickly to just run to the doctor and take whatever script he decides to write out and fill it with no real questions asked. You know, I just don't understand how we stay like that.
Well, we do because it's a matter of a lot of things. Like there's people like I had somebody on that post today say or something. It was a doctor, and he interjected, and I won't mention the doctor's name because I could destroy this man for the things he's done to patients. But he got on there and he was making some comments back and forth that, well, I guess all doctors only wasted their money going to school. No, they didn't waste their money going to school. They paid for a legal way to rip everybody off the rest of their goddamn life.
Yeah.
So that they didn't waste their money. They just found a way to do a crooked thing. And
I think at one time maybe they did.
Back when we were young.
Yeah, I think maybe they did train them differently or teach them
well,
in a manner that they don't now. I think now we're just all numbers that are put into a system, and boom, here comes a diagnosis, and what is billable, what's not billable.
Well, that's what it is. And think of it this way. When you went to the doctors when you were younger, your doctor did everything. You didn't go to the doctor for a pinky nail specialist, but now we have them. Right. You know, you got an ingrown, left butt cheek hair. You go to a specialist for that. The right butt cheek guy, he don't handle that. He only handles the left. They're like Twix. Anyway, it's crazy, but it's crazy, but it's true. So that's kind of who we are, honestly. It's just like
we created Can We Talk a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
In our kitchen in Ocala is where.
No.
Yes, it was.
Oh, in Ocala, yeah, because we already had Cannabis Country.
In Bellevue.
Yeah.
Because we did Cannabis Country started in
the Panhandle.
In the Panhandle, and when we got to Central Florida is when Can We Talk started, and I remember the day, and I was just so focused. I remember our first guest,
Alicia. Alicia was on, and Gordon.
Yeah.
Woody. They were our first three people we had.
But it was just geared towards education. It was taking Cannabis Country to another level, we could bring it to a podcast, a broader audience, and strictly education, no crap.
And it was about coming out and not being afraid to voice yourself, because you could speak about something. You doesn't mean you can get arrested for it. I mean, people were so hush-hush about cannabis for so long that if you talked about it, oh my gosh, the insinuation is going to be there that you use it. So what, first of all? But second of all, to get it out there, people were so closed-mouthed, and everybody was up in arms that we couldn't treat, but nobody wanted to come forward for it. Yeah. And I lived in a Nazi state of Florida where you can get arrested and go to jail forever for marijuana.
Right. And our eyes didn't open up until we went out to Oregon.
Yeah.
And when Pete got so sick and we took him to Oregon, it was just such a learning curve from the moment we got there. And when I tell you, my husband was a sponge. He soaked it all in, and he learned, and I still learn from him, because I couldn't keep up and learn at his pace the way he was doing it. He was in no time making medicine for other people.
Yeah.
He was learning. And he knew, because it was his life.
It's my life.
It was what was saving his life.
That's right.
And I don't think I even got the gravity of that then.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, everything was happening so quick, so I didn't quite grasp it until years later,
Yeah. Listen, I had no choice. I mean, opportunities, when an opportunity comes to you in life, you must take it. First of all, being somebody that's been laid there on their deathbed and knows what's important in life and what isn't any longer, I will make one general statement to every human being living: never, 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 ever let yourself leave this earth with a regret. If you want to try something, if you want to do something, if something's important to you, don't lay there when time's out saying, I wish I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Mm-hmm. Because you're never going to get that chance. So if something passes your way, try it. We don't like everything we do. We think some things are going to be exhilarating, and then we try them, and it's the worst experience of our life. But we would always regret not trying it. Right. So that's one thing I can tell you. Another thing I can tell you is that to slow down. slow down.
Did you just say that?
I do, though. I have.
But you just said that.
Yeah.
Pete really doesn't know how to slow down.
No, I have a hard time. It's a lot of my health issue.
Please forgive me if I chuckle.
Yeah. But what I mean by that.
I believe he just said that.
Yeah, but what I mean by that is slow. When I'm saying that, I'm talking about the candle life that we express. Slow down and enjoy some things. You know what I mean? You don't have to. You'll be surprised. You could drive down the same road 1,000 times in your life. It could be your ride home from work every day for 30 years. And if you just open your eyes a little more, you'll see something you never saw in 30 years.
And that's true.
And it is the truth. Yeah. So take in life and enjoy life. There's a lot here to enjoy. I mean, we travel the country. I mean, we've been blessed to be able to drive it. Although I was sick, we still were able to drive this country. And this country is massive. It is beautiful. Beyond words. And if we took that moment sometimes in our life and realized that and got away from, who hates who and who doesn't hate who, that'd be another thing. Can we talk also was about ingesting the proper things.
Coming up with Can We Talk and for educational purposes, and it just kind of flowed into from the experiences that we got. People were coming out of everywhere asking for advice on certain things, ailments, the plant, guidance, spiritual guidance. So we took it in a direction that way where we started to coach and
help people in every way.
Yes. Yeah. But we also lived what we preach. Mm-hmm. We do. Yeah. And you won't hear Pete preach a whole lot about food because Pete eats like crap. I'm the preacher of food. My husband is the preacher of cannabis and the cannabinoid systems. Because that's what he knows. That's his specialty.
Yeah, well, that's why we make such a good pair.
That's right.
And then we do
balance.
What we did from there was we understood that there was more to cannabis than just sitting back and telling everybody about health. There's the whole other side of it, and that's where the Human Solution
International. There's physical, there's mental health, there's all of that.
Right, and that's where the Human Solution International and Solidarity Over Separation, our chapter here in New York of the Human Solution International, came to be. We realized that when we're fighting for the plant, we're fighting for the plant. It's not just for a fight for use of it. What about all those people at any given time? 137,000 people sit in prison right now for the cannabis plant, the plant that's never done anybody any harm. No, yes, some for life without the possibility of parole. Craig Cecil in Indiana. We always have your back, Craig. Human Solutions will always support you. Thank you for your call into the Cup of Joe on Wednesday on the West Coast every week. Craig serves a life without the possibility of parole in Indiana federal prison for cannabis. Okay, well, Craig Cecil was a mechanic on a truck, and a diesel mechanic, and he repaired those trucks. Craig has never used cannabis. Craig didn't even know cannabis was involved. Craig sits in prison now for the rest of his life without the possibility of parole for being a mechanic on a truck. For being a mechanic
that was used to transport cannabis.
Right. That's why he gets the life without the possibility. Not for being a mechanic, but heaven forbid that mechanic's owned by a pot holder, a guy that deals in pot. It's crazy
that's criminal.
Yes. But so nobody should be in jail for a plant. There has to be a crime for someone to be in jail, don't you believe? And with a crime becomes a victim. There's no victim. Zero victim when it comes to cannabis. The only victim is the people you took it away from. Because people now can't medicate. They can't treat properly. Even if they only get relief by smoking to sleep, for their appetite, for nausea,
that's another true crime right there.
But what's the difference? Even if there are only smoking for those reasons. Now, you hear Helen and I talk about cannabis all the time, but you hear us very rarely do you hear us talk about smoking cannabis.
No.
Why? Because cannabis is again least effective when ingested in that form. So it's really, for somebody that's in slight pain or some fibromyalgia, fine. Smoke a little weed, you're fine. But treatment with cannabis is completely different than recreational or having fun or just getting some relief from
That's
cannabis.
right.
So the Human Solution International believes nobody should be in jail for a plant. So if you have any issues or you have trouble, you know someone in your family, someone close to you that has been arrested, that has been convicted for this plant, please contact us at thsi.org, thsintl.org, sorry, thehumansolutioninternational.org, thsintl.org. It'll always be on your screen when we talk. And
Yes.
that and ours, but I'll say it out loud anyway for those that need that benefit. But so it's a great organization and a wonderful guy that runs it. And speaking of partnerships too, we just got an icy named after us.
Yes, the purple Yapel eater.
Yeah,
Why do I always want to say hater?
because people seem to.
I don't know why, but I
Yapel
always
hater.
want to say hater instead of eater.
But it is the purple Yapel eater. And it's available at.
Yes, it is.
It's available at Chris Birtzel's place in New Windsor, the Happy.
The Happy Shack. So we will be there at the Happy Shack on your birthday.
Yeah, which is this Saturday, October 20th.
On
yeah.
October 20th, we'll be there, and we'll do a tasting.
We're doing a
of
flavor
the-
launch.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
And it is a grape
What's-
explosion in your mouth.
What's the best thing about it if you buy that, though?
Oh, $1 of every pint that you purchase goes to the Human Solution.
Yep. So Chris has become a corporate sponsor of ours, and he's I'll tell you, he's another good guy. We interviewed him a couple weeks ago, and he's a go-getter. He's a veteran, another guy that understands the value of this plant.
Yes.
That's most of the time, because of the government that he lives in, is considered. You know, he went and risked his life for every one of us that sits here and gets the chance to enjoy his great medicine. But I'm telling you, this has just been a crazy year too, though. You know, like Joe, everything's going with Joe.
Everything's been going on and happening so quickly.
The end of the
and
summer series.
It's
Oh
yeah,
it's
I know.
there already. We're already at the end of the
I know.
summer series.
I know. End of the festivals. Had some great memories.
Mm-hmm.
Some great pictures. Pete got some great footage out at these festivals. You really did a great job. And I'm sorry I couldn't be there.
No,
all the time
she's
with
only
you.
there for a little bit.
But I was there a couple times, but not as much as he was.
But listen, we got to meet some great people. Music has a way of bringing people together. It has a way of creating peace. It has a way of making people forget about everything that goes on around us on a daily.
It calms your savage beast.
As they say.
That's for sure.
Yeah, as they say. And to be honest with you, if you just think of it this way. If you took a 70-year-old black guy, a 15-year-old Chinese girl, a 30-year-old Mexican guy, and a 50-year-old woman, and you put them all in a white woman, and you put them all in the same room, and you tried to have them have a conversation, they're generationally completely different. They're ethnically and culturally completely different. They're all of this. Slap some music on. Watch what happens to that room. Every dang last one of them will join in one way or whatever.
Right,
snap in,
singing.
bring up a memory. I mean, this is what music does, and that's why these concerts are incredible. These concerts events.
And speaking of that, I just want to put it out there that we are always looking for local talent.
Yeah.
And we're looking for audiences to come to the studio, and we'll do a live taping. And if you have a talent, bring your instrument. If it doesn't take an instrument, just show your talent. We'll put you on.
Yeah, listen, and the funny thing about it is
every Monday, 7
guys-
o'clock.
You guys get to see this great stuff that goes all on here right now, and then gets edited and and we put on for an hour. But we're normally here a good 3 hours, and gosh, some of the stuff. We'll do a blooper tape one of these days.
We have a blast, and we would love to share it with the community. That's for sure.
James, come here for a second, please.
Definitely.
Everybody, I just want to come on up here for a second. Stand right here behind us. I want everybody to just kneel
cutting
down,
his head
James,
off.
because I'm cutting your head out. There we go. Excellent. James Tenney and Nikki Tenney. And James has been with us since day one.
Since the beginning,
Since
for
the
sure.
first day ever here, since the first filming. He does the on the road with me stuff. And all the stuff that gets done here that don't get seen is done by the few people that we have that offer our time. And we always see these guys, names at the end of the show, and we always see that stuff, but we can just never see their faces. And I want to thank you. You know why I always thank you. I thank you every day. Thank you for
One of our cameramen.
everything you do. That's one of our cameramen, James. Bart, come here for a second.
We got another. Sorry, Bart.
Of course,
I had
you
no
see Lily.
idea.
She'll be
Sorry,
on
James.
set
I had
no
no
matter what
idea.
I know. Well, that's because
quite all
I'm a
right.
man of
It's quite
surprise. Hey, listen, this is a show. It's our show. We can do whatever we want to do.
Oh, you got this?
All right, everybody.
Right.
My beautiful nephew, Bartholomew
folks.
Tully. I love Bart.
Oh man, I love him too.
But Bart is another one. Bart, like when I call Bart in the morning and go, hey, I got 3 hours of driving to do to go talk or make a speech or whatever, and he just loads it up and he comes and he's always available.
What time
I can.
Yeah, that's what he always says. He's always like, if he can, he can. So.
Why, I totally agree with you. Never give up an opportunity, man.
That's right. Bart, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
I love you.
Love you guys.
You too, honey.
Love you. I got, and then of course we got the brains behind every bit of it. The guy that does all this creative shit, and
The director of our show.
Yeah, the guy that puts together all this great stuff, and Dino Anello. He's my like my brother, and I can't say enough about Dino. And we love you, and thank you for everything, all the hard work.
Thank you for the progression and the movement forward. I cherish
you guys
for
wouldn't
that.
understand, like when we first get here, like none of this looked like this when we first got here. All the lighting is different. The cameras aren't set up.
The paint's
even,
different.
Yeah, even the chairs we have set up now, the way they are today.
We
Like
always
this
change
morning.
that though. We change this a lot.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's just not like we come here, sit down, and get the film. This
Oh
thing.
God, no.
These
no,
guys kill
no,
themselves.
it's-
They
yeah,
work hard.
Yeah.
There's running all the
Just think
wires
of-
and getting the
just
lighting
think of
right.
rearranging your house every single day.
Right. And then making it
Twice
so that
a
everybody
day.
can hear you talk perfectly, and everybody can see you on every angle and everything. So these guys they do a tremendous amount of work behind the scenes, and they never get enough credit. So I just wanted to give them a little bit of ups today for all the hard work that they do, because we couldn't get
Well,
it
I'm
done
glad
without
that
them.
you
I mean,
did
we
that.
really couldn't get it done without them. Let's face it.
That's for sure.
So we're going to listen. We got two more things I really want to talk about tonight, which are probably the two most important things that we're
Well,
going to
one of the things I want to make sure that everybody who is watching and tunes into us and follows our classes at the Holistic Healing Studio, we are no longer doing the classes at the Holistic Healing Studio.
This is a sad day today.
It is a sad day. Not for any other reason than time. It's just not, we just don't have the time, the studio nor us at this moment to do it any longer.
And it's not. We
Once a
would
month.
continue to do it. They just aren't available.
Right.
The
Well, the
place
space
isn't
isn't available for
Right.
us. So, unfortunately, we're not going to be doing that.
Well, but what I will say is,
how-
if you do own a business, if it is a holistic center of sorts, we don't care what it is, if it's a health spa, if it is a chiropractic office, if it is a community center, we don't care. We still want to offer our services. We offer them free. We work for donations. We come and we speak and we educate.
Yes,
and we'll
that's
come
what we
back
do.
we'll come back once a month to your place. We enjoy coming back and
But
seeing
getting-
the same faces.
Since you mentioned that is one of the things that we do. Now, if you go onto our website, you'll see all these different things that are listed. We do wear many hats.
Yeah.
But it's because of how it all comes together. We are a lifestyle change. We changed everything for the better by changing everything. So
Yeah.
you have to, one of our mottos is, aside from what we say every day, is be the change you wish to see in the world. You also have to stop before you can start.
Right.
You need to stop the bad behaviors, the bad choices, the excuses, the lies that you do and tell yourself to make a better, good change for yourself. And that's what it's all about. And we teach how to do that using cannabis and food and spirituality coupled together is what gives you the strength.
Homeostasis. Straight
The
up.
strength to make the right choices for homeostasis. That's what it's about.
Well, and that was very well put. I really, really like the way you put that because it made every bit of sense. Because you have to put all of those things together.
Yes.
You have to.
Well,
They all
otherwise
have
there's
to
no
work-
balance.
They have to all work together, or again, like Helen's saying, you just won't have balance. And I don't care how much you think you feel good. If you're not balanced, you ain't going to feel good.
That's right.
Spirituality is really important. Definitely food is definitely important. And cannabis and other herbs are absolutely important. But Willow Creek Springs offers all of these products. And it's a line that we represent. It's a line that we stand behind. It's a line that I medicate with every day. My wife medicates with every day. And let's just say thousands of others across the country do as well. So if you really want a true understanding of how you can feel better affordably without going broke, please reach out to us at www.canawetalk420.com. Check out the Willow Creek Springs tab. Please click on it. It'll say contact a rep in your area. Please do. If you're interested in becoming a representative, we definitely can help you with that too. But what I will say is this. Helen and I are very particular about who we bring on board.
Absolutely,
Because
we are.
when I bring you on board, you're my name. So,
Yes.
and my name to me is worth more to me than anything in the world. So,
Yes. But yeah, I have some Willow Creek Springs stuff
why don't you show
here.
them some of that product there?
I have.
Come here, baby.
This is THCA. You don't have to zoom in on it. It's okay.
Yeah.
This is a sublingual spray under the tongue. This one I use for anxiety, which I suffer from anxiety, and most of us do for whatever reason. I've read books on its breathing. It's all about breathing. I've read all kinds of books that tell you why it happens. What I do know is how to stop it. And this is how I stop it.
Well, it works for lots.
Instantly.
It works for lots of things.
It does, but I'm saying what I use
I know,
it
but
for.
tell. It's a THC sublingual spray. Well, all that truly means is it's a specific cannabinoid within the plant that you, like she says, that you spray under your tongue. If you hear sublingual, all it means is under the tongue. You have a sublingual gland under your tongue, but Helen's pointing that out because it's a specified cannabinoid. This isn't just CBD.
No,
Right.
it isn't.
Right.
It's just one cannabinoid, THCA. It is one that they use for people with autism, epilepsy.
What have you found out that by accident that it works on? Lots of things.
Oh my God, yeah. By accident, I found out that it works on my
Or on a
on a jellyfish sting, which is crazy, but it did. Took the sting right away. Nobody had to pee on me.
That's right. That's right. Although everybody asked if I would.
But nobody did. This did it immediately. And
Tara's son's poison ivy
yeah,
took down the
poison
inflammation
ivy,
in that. I mean,
yes, it took down the inflammation on the poison ivy immediately, and it took it away within 24 hours. So that's another thing. So surf shops all over.
CBD.
And here we go at this. Wait a minute, I thought I had.
You grabbed the book.
Well, I
That's all right.
grabbed the other one.
We have
Well,
a
anyway,
CBD
the other
supplement.
one is CBD spray.
And that's an actual. That is the full. Well, not full spectrum. That's CBD isolates, cannabis oil, or coconut oil, and peppermint oil.
Well, and my point of having this here is to tell you this is what I do every day. The CBDs I take every day. I take in the morning and I take at night. If I feel like I need it throughout the day because I'm working too much and my joints start hurting, then that's what I do. Then I implement the THCA as I need it. I'm gonna kick Dino's ass when this is over.
Oh, this dog is fine. She's into
Totally
everything.
distracting me. I don't know what he's saying.
Oh, she's licking in your ears. Oh. Sorry, brother.
Anyway, I also take Focus every day. What's in here, these are already capped. It's CBD isolates, and it will come with, I'm going to try to pronounce this, okay? Golu Cola. Bacopa.
Listen, they're all natural.
Rosemary. ashwagandha.
Cut. We can't read that like that because then it looks silly and it looks like you're reading foreign products that
but you're
look like
not.
are on the back of a package of shit that we tell people not to buy because you can't pronounce them. Don't pronounce the stuff in it. Just say everything's all natural, everything's clearly labeled. You know what I mean? Because otherwise you're going to stumble through that and it's not going to make much sense, do you think?
Whatever, Pete.
I'm asking you.
No, just I thought it would have been fine because it isn't chemicals and fucking long 50 freaking letter words that end with
I know, but somebody's going to say to you, what the fuck is the difference whether I'm sticking Coca-Gluca, like you're saying you can't say in your mouth, or Asquatichka Jesus, that you can't read on the back of a Doritos package?
Everything you can look up and you can see it's all natural.
Okay. I didn't know you wanted to list every
All right,
ingredient
I'm not
on the
gonna
thing.
list
That's what I was going to say.
everything. Cut.
All right, we'll go back now. Well, you've been
Go
cut.
back to where?
Go back to, you use focus during the, I use focus during the day 4, and then,
Since we're cut, Pete, stop slouching in the chair.
Yeah, because you're
God, man.
really.
What hurt my back? You don't get it.
Every day. All I can hear is your microphone moving.
What's up?
You want to come into my ear a little?
No. Just don't want you to touch your necklaces. Okay? I'm going to actually skew this a little bit.
What you gonna do?
That way it doesn't bump into you every time.
Slouching in the chair is gonna be a hard one, guys. That's my back.
Well, sit up for a second.
Yeah, put that behind my back. That might help.
There you go.
Yeah, that's better. Oh yeah, that's a lot better right there. I can do that.
Oh, your bony ass.
Yeah, my ass.
It's your bony ass.
Hey, Marty.
I want to see how the professionals do it.
Oh.
We're not far from
about all
that,
that.
dude. I promise you. Where are we at?
I know the dog's fine, but
I won't. Yeah.
apparently I don't know about the. Well, she's not familiar with camera angles, and she was licking her
She was too.
Yeah. Let's show it.
Lily.
Dog, bring your butt over.
Lily, you can't be on my lap right now, honey.
Lily, go. Shoo. Go.
Lily.
Get.
She ain't gonna. She wants to be here.
She'll go hit.
Oh yeah, that'll be, believe me. We'll have a ton of that. I can't wait for it actually. All right,
right.
go back to picking up your focus and saying I take
Okay.
my focus every morning. Let Dino will tell you.
Count
when.
me in.
Gotcha.
In 5, 4.
So every morning I take Fireball and I take Focus. And they're CBD isolates already capped, and there is also a list of different isolates.
And organic
and
material. It's
organic
everything in there
materials
is
that you-
natural.
and
It's-
everything is listed, and you can research everything that's there.
Mm-hmm.
And my salve, oh my God, this is like my best friend. This is what I use at work, come home from work, and it
joint
takes,
pain, muscle pain.
Yeah, it relieves everything. It relieves my joint pain. It relieves the restless legs that I get at night. I can.
The list goes on with
It
her.
does.
And the good thing about the salves are that they come in salves, buttercreams. They also come in heated, cooled, and just a plain regular oil. Like, it has no sensation. Because we know that like certain people with fibromyalgia are more reactive to heat than cold, and vice versa. So we make the product available in all types so that people can actually get that relief. Like with me, it's heat. You know me. I can't stand cold.
Right.
Cold triggers me and does.
But
go
I
ahead.
think for me, the point of pointing this out was so that you can see that cannabis is ingested in many, many different ways. So please, when someone is discussing cannabis with you, especially someone who's going to approach you with the word cannabis and not pot or marijuana,
Right.
Without the stigma, listen to what they have to say because they know what they're talking about. I hope.
Well,
They know what they're
generally,
talking about.
anybody that refers to the plant as cannabis
Yes.
is knowledgeable to begin with because they erase the stigma and the racism that's involved and all of that that's involved. Now, you'll hear us from time to time call it pot, weed, or whatever else, but it's in the context of the statement. Now, like when I say weed, I'm normally just talking about smoking or
Right.
just enjoying ourselves recreational or pot. Those two words will come out. But when I say cannabis, I'm always talking about the plant and how we can benefit from it.
Right.
And
Well,
we owe that thanks to a guy named Joe Grumbine. and his wife Liz out at Willow Creek Springs. Their products are, first of all, work.
They do.
You know,
They work and they're affordable. That's the biggest part. They're affordable. They're real. There's so many oils out there that are just not. They're not medicinal oils.
Well, that's right. They're nutritional.
Are nutritional oils. They're hemp oils, and hemp is nutritional. And as my husband says so eloquently all the time, when he teaches, he explains the difference between the hemp plant and the cannabis plant. And the difference between the two, the simplest way to make you understand or to help you understand is that the plant has to be 15% or higher in cannabidiol
or cannabinoidal profile.
Right. Yeah. For it to be medicinal. The hemp plant only has 3 to 5%. The cannabis plant, as it's being grown now on the West Coast,
or it's anywhere really, truly.
Anywhere really, but they're doing it, is 20% or higher.
Right, right.
So that's the difference. That's why when you're seeing a product and you're paying 90 above for, and you're getting hemp seed oil extract, you're not getting a medicinal product.
Okay, and again, too, even if someone says to you, well, this isn't hemp seed oil extract, this is cannabis or hemp oil, full spectrum hemp extract. Well, that's good and great and wonderful. When you have full extract hemp oil, well, all you do is have THC in it and CBN in it, CBGN in it. That's the only two things that are missing from an isolate. And you can't have THC in New York State anyway, except for 0.03%. So to claim that something is full spectrum and make it sound as though it's a better product, again, isn't a lie. It's not a lie. It is full spectrum, but does that really make it medicinal or doesn't give you any help? Again, too, if you turn around the side of your bottle and or the word hemp occurs on it, on the side of your bottle is going to be nutritional facts.
That's right.
Why? Because hemp is nutrition. Hemp is not medicine. You turn around a bottle of any product that you buy in any dispensary that is a cannabis product, and you look on, there's no nutritional facts. Why? Because they're not needed. It's not made for nutrition. This is made to treat your illnesses. Now, here's where a problem comes in. Here's where a problem comes in that people don't understand, is that by us saying this is medicinal or this is my medicine, by us using that words, we trigger a regulatory process within the government. Okay? What? Because if we consider something medicine, what does that mean? It means the DEA and the FDA have to regulate it. Mm-hmm. So when we say health supplements, it's no different. A medicine is there to supplement your health. Well, that's what people offer, are health supplements. They're not medicines. If you want to call them medicines, you call them medicine. To me, it's my medicine. I don't care what they do. To me, they say it's illegal. I don't consider it illegal. If it's illegal, I'm dead. My life is worth something.
That's right.
So when my life has zero value, then we can sit back and say cannabis is illegal. But till this one person on earth whose life has value is gone, you're going to have to sit back and understand that it's not an illegal substance. Mm-hmm. Because my life, to keep me alive, shouldn't be illegal. And to speak about keeping people alive and making it legal, it is almost November 6th.
Yes, and I hope everybody's registered to vote.
Yes, please listen. It's too late if you haven't. 13th was the cutoff for New York State. But listen, we are in a place where we can really make a difference.
It's the time. We're ready for it, and we're ready to take it.
We have been led into oblivion in this state for the last two different governors that each spent 2 terms, and at least got one running for his third. That we don't do politics a lot for the reason that it's just that we all have different opinions. But libertarian views are always, those that to me are the right ones, because it's for liberty, for pursuit of happiness. And if you think of liberty and you think of America and what America was founded on, like the pursuit of happiness, you can do whatever you want here. You can attain whatever you want here. There's a life of freedom if we're allowed it. you know. And people, I saw.
Well, if you're
I
keeping
saw a
everybody
thing on the-
dumbed down and sick, it's
Yeah.
kind of virtually impossible to
But I'm
attain
getting this today,
that, isn't it?
I'm getting to this because I watched on the news this morning, and whenever we want people to do something, we throw a famous face up. I mean, that's all it is. You know, these people are just so brilliant in this that they spend more time in jail and more time in trouble than any of us, the people, famous people. Let's be realistic. They do more crap than we do. They have the opportunity to do more, and they have more money, so they can create bigger problems. But these are the people we listen to because all of a sudden, just because we see them on a TV screen, they know something. Oh, please. But we put famous people up, and what do they say? They say, go out and vote. Your vote counts. Your vote matters. If you don't vote, you don't have a voice. Well, listen, guess what? I've been voting since I was 18 years old. 36 years I've been voting. My voice hasn't been heard yet. Either that or they're 18 years behind, 36 years behind in hearing voices.
It's starting.
Okay, but this, right, it's starting because we're starting to put people in office that have the people's thoughts, the people's concern, and the people's things in mind. And that candidate for governor is definitely
Larry Sharp.
without question.
Most
Sharp with an E for electable. Everybody remember that. Larry, we've had the pleasure, obviously, of interviewing Larry a couple times. He did the 2-hour.
We have the pleasure of calling him friend.
Yeah, yeah. But you know,
that I can say.
And he's this is another cool thing about Larry is that you'll never hear anybody say, you know, Mr. Sharp is running for. Please, Mr. Sharp was probably his father. He's Larry. He'll be Larry when he's in office. He's Larry now.
Yeah.
He's just that real a guy. And we, like again, have had the pleasure of interviewing him a couple times. And then I just had the pleasure, actually, for the first time, to be able to go and speak on his behalf. I went and did his speech this past Saturday in Long Island for Larry, which was nice to honor him.
Amazing speech, by the way. I have to give my husband props because he did a phenomenal job at that speech. It brought me to tears.
Yeah.
Sure did.
If anybody knows anything about me, I like to talk anyway. So talking's very simple. Something's very simple. But Larry always impresses me because Larry's never wavering. Larry just wants people to be able to live a real life and stay
You're not
here.
going to waver when you're speaking truth. He doesn't come in with a written speech like most do.
No.
We don't do that either. Sure,
No.
we'll follow an outline sometimes, but that's it. You know, just to keep us on track so we're not going on tangents, which we have a tendency of doing.
Yeah, because I could talk about
So,
hiccups for 3 hours.
But nothing is scripted, and things are edited only because we have potty mouths.
Yeah, yeah.
And we get passionate, we curse.
Yeah.
So we have to edit.
Yeah.
But
We listen.
Larry has turned us to
believing in government.
in government again. And like Pete always says, we're not political. We don't follow a political agenda. We don't. Larry brought us on because of his beliefs, because of the direction that he's going in, because of his stance on cannabis.
And I could care less that he's libertarian or he's.
Exactly.
I could care less if he was
He's
the Nazi
doing
party. He's
all
doing
the
right
things. Not only is he saying, he's doing.
Yes.
This is someone who is getting out to the people. He's doing what no one else is doing. He's going and meeting his constituents. He's shaking the hands. He's listening to the problems. He's taking advice and suggestions. He's not just here, I'm here and I know it all. I can fix all the problems and this is how we do it.
He's the exact opposite.
Exactly.
He's the exact opposite. He's the first one to say, I don't know everything.
Yeah.
He's the first one to say, I can't wait to politically involve you.
That's what we need. That's how we get back in, and politics belongs to the people again.
But we
where
haven't
we
had
have
that
some
for so long.
sovereignty.
People don't believe in the actual system that was originally set up because it hasn't existed for so
They don't
long.
even know what it looks like anymore.
They have to understand that not everyone is part of the oligarchy. They're not. Not everybody is part of the oligarchy. Not everyone understands or thinks that all big business should run, own, and control everything in this world. People don't understand that we, the people, are this country. And if we, the people, aren't heard, then we, the people, aren't represented.
That's
so
right.
what are we really doing? We are going out and casting votes for whatever the government decides itself who they want in power. Here's the one we'll let you go for from this side. Here's the one we'll let you go for on that side. It's never about politics anymore. It's never about that. I watch the news like every day to laugh. It's humor to me. The only part of the news that I enjoyed this morning was the piece on
and that came
the piece
out of
about the
Oregon.
Nike. Yeah, and listen, when we were in Oregon, Helen and I used to say on a radio show every week, we would say, I'm so glad that I live in Oregon now because on my hour newscast, I get 15 minutes of good news.
There was 10 minutes.
Or 10
it's
was
10
10?
minutes,
All right, it was 10,
but it's
15,
a 10-minute piece of
Feel good
news.
Yeah, and
just
today-
what's going on that's good
And
around their state.
Today in New York, they finally shared a piece of that good news, which was
Why
nice.
haven't
And
we
it was
been doing
about
this the whole time?
It was about a runner, a guy that has cerebral palsy. He joined the Oregon track team, the track club, and he runs with the track club. And Nike made him an ambassador. They made him made him a
Very cool.
a sponsor, whatever they call him. They gave him a
Well,
sponsorship.
that's better than the 3 different episodes of news, and then that Megyn Kelly, is that her name?
I don't know.
I think that's the one who had the fight with Donald Trump.
I
Yeah.
don't
Well, 3 different shows
Yeah.
of them, and just bashing his 60-minute interview.
Yeah, whatever it is, I don't care. They can bash it. They can knock Trump up. They can do that. I'm concerned about who's going to run my state today. And that's what everybody here needs to be concerned about because all this Donald Trump stuff and all the stuff that goes on is a smokescreen. I told you this before
Yes,
when the
it
last
is.
president was, when there's something like this going on, they're doing
Yep,
stuff behind the scenes.
that's right.
That they don't want us to know about.
Shady stuff.
And Donald is a perfect example and a perfect gateway and a perfect way to do this, and it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care. Just be careful what they're doing behind the scenes, people. That's what I'm telling you to do. Don't be distracted. You're so easily distracted, you sheeply bunch of fools that follow whatever the lady in the suit says. Please, it's the lady in the suit now, mind you, because all men aren't allowed on TV. My wife hasn't sued me yet for the Me Too movement, but I'm sure doing by the end of this, we'll figure out a way that she can just be in charge and hire herself another female co-host to sit here with us because men are disgusting. That's not the world, people. That's not the world. There are people that are done wrong, both men and women. Please. It's not just a woman thing, and it's not just a man thing. But this is all just distractions, because if that's all that there is that's newsworthy, then we really have a boring country that we live in. I sit back and think of all the problems that have to be solved, and this is all we can talk about? This is all we can express?
This is
it?
Because it's controlled.
Yeah, people get up every morning and look at Facebook to see what they
Look,
can
we
complain
know.
about
We know.
the presidency, or what they can complain about what's going on in society. And then, Donald Trump's a racist. Yet we put up memes with Morgan Freeman and what's his name there? What are they? DiCaprio in there, dressed as this, that, and the other thing, and poke fun out of it, calling him a house Negro. Well, isn't that racism? But
Sure is.
racism's okay if it's done on the reverse side. It's okay if it's done the other way. It's never okay. So how can we as a society sit back and say, well, I accept that, but I don't accept that, or you're a hypocrite, or you're a bad person for saying this, but you aren't for doing that? Please, if you call anyone other than what they are, and that's just a human being, because if you turn the lights out and a blind man don't know. A blind man don't know if you're black, white, Chinese, unless you got an accent. Mm-hmm. So and a blind man's going to judge you off of his feeling, the energy that you put off.
That's right.
He's going to know you're a liar before you open your mouth.
That's right.
So let's just negate all of this stuff. I want to ask a question, because we saw that other thing too. We saw on the news this week, 80% of Americans are tired of political correctness. Well, the reverse side. It's okay if it's done the other way. It's never okay. So how can we as a society sit back and say, well, I accept that, but I don't accept that, or you're a hypocrite, or you're a bad person for saying this, but you aren't for doing that? Please, if you call anyone other than what they are, and that's just a human being, because if you turn the lights out and a blind man don't know. A blind man don't know if you're black, white, Chinese, unless you got an accent. Mm-hmm. So and a blind man's going to judge you off of his feeling, the energy that you put off.
That's right.
He's going to know you're a liar before you open your mouth.
That's right.
So let's just negate all of this stuff. You know, I want to ask a question because we saw that other thing too. We saw on the news this week, 80% of Americans are tired of political correctness. Well, you're right. 80% of Americans didn't want political correctness to begin with. It's the 20% of
Political correctness
that we satisfy
is just a way to hide corruption. It's the pleasant way to lie.
Let's prove this is American.
I'm the most incorrect, or however you even say
Politically
it,
incorrect.
unpolitically
Yeah,
correct
politically incorrect
person.
human being. Yeah, but because listen, we can prove that America is the only country to do this, because I don't think they call them African Englishmen or African Spanishmen if they live in their country, or Hispanic English. You know, they're not. They're just Englishmen. They're French people. They're Spanish people. Well, it doesn't matter what color they are, where they are. They're people from that country. So why can't we, and why do we have to be such a sensitive bunch of fruitcakes here in this? And excuse me if fruitcake offended anyone with my political incorrectness. But finally have a say in your government. Elect somebody that is going to hear you. You know, and one thing Larry has stated and is kept true to, and because I see him at events, you know, like you say, we've spent time with Larry. It's not like we've, you know, I only had these couple of interviews with him, this and we've, you know, sat out at comedy clubs with him and actually got to sit and talk with Larry a bunch of different times. But because we know for one thing that he actually listens to people. He truly does. And the one thing that always comes out of his mouth is, you know what? That's something we can try. You know, I don't know other politicians that do that. Why don't we try it? You know, they won't even give it that little bit. To understand that they don't know everything. Their lobbyists have their own interests. They don't have the interests of everyone. Wherever the money train rolls is where they roll. But we have a man that doesn't really care about the money train, and that's the thing.
That's right. That's right. Well, and his campaign proves that. I mean, the way that he has campaigned thus far has been remarkable to me. I mean, he did all of this with his own money, then creating funding for himself.
I think he's his third largest supporter, honestly. I think he's his third largest contributor.
Okay.
Second or third largest contributor, I believe.
He's out there. He's doing it. I mean, I wonder how half the time he gets from one place to the other as fast as he does, because he is everywhere.
Yeah, and he does.
Up and down this state, he is everywhere.
Unlike Cuomo, who sits back and does nothing.
Someone who's going to put that effort in, I want him in that house.
Mm-hmm. I don't want somebody.
We all should want him in that house. We all need this kind of change, that kind of drive. We need that kind of person.
So what I'm saying is, like she is, vote for somebody that actually has a platform.
Yes.
Andrew Cuomo's platform is hate Trump. If you hate Trump, then vote for me. You know, honestly, that's what it is. The man hasn't said anything other than that. Even viably intelligent. He won't debate. He will not debate. He's been asked numerous times. He was asked by everybody. He debated Cynthia Nixon because Cynthia Nixon's an idiot. As big an idiot as he is. Cynthia Nixon could be mayor of New York City, and she'd be probably a fine mayor of New York City because Cynthia Nixon knows New York City. But Cynthia Nixon has zero idea about New York, and Andrew Cuomo doesn't either. Andrew Cuomo knows how to line his pockets and his cronies. Well, that's pretty much it for tonight. What do you think, babe? You think we should pack these dogs up that have been licking themselves on stage all day long?
Yeah, I think so, since, you know, Lily has shown herself to everyone in New York.
The talents that she possesses, her curled tongue, her everything. She loves herself. And then, of course, Indy, she's just running around. But you guys know us, man. They're our family. They're our children. They're our children that we have now that travel with us. They go everywhere we do.
Yes, they do.
It's always a pleasure.
Just to recap, the Human Solution, SOS, become a member, help out, keep people out of jail. Mm-hmm. They don't need to be in jail for a plant. Mm-hmm. Become a 420 member. Mm-hmm. THSI.ntl.org. And check out the website.
Can We Talk
420.com. Everything we do is on there. Every service we have is on there. And like I said, it's a long list of services. Pick one. Give us a call.
Excellent, everybody. Hey, everybody, thank you again for joining us this week, as you do every week. It's our pleasure and our crew's pleasure to bring you this show. We hope you enjoy it. If you have any suggestions, please send in your suggestions to Can We Talk 420. If you want to be a guest, if you're a local talent or a local artist, local business person, we promote everything locally. We do support our local.
Go to the website and then go to contact us.
And then just shoot us an email at canwetalk420, and that's 420@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's the only 420 we have. Is the
But
Gmail.
please do that. We are happy again. We can't wait to see you next week. Thank you again from Can We Talk TV.
Thank you for coming and seeing us
everybody,
again.
remember, live a Canna lifestyle.